You are listening to Food for Worms, the original true crime podcast.
Food for Worms.
Hey everybody, one quick thing of housekeeping before the episode starts. We want to let you know that we're going to start releasing at 8 a.m. We know we've been doing it since 5 a.m. Central Time, and we're trying to switch it up a little bit. We're trying to do some data digging. We're trying to see when y'all actually are listening.
And let us know.
And let us know too. Yeah, if us going up later is a problem, and it don't mean nothing for us to do the shit at 5 a.m. We just want to see what we can do with when things are released. So let us know. Anyway, we'll see y'all in a little bit. Thanks.
Do 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 boo do 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 boo do
Okay.
do do
This is a
do
good
do
song.
do.
I love
These
this one.
eyes,
These thighs. What?
these
These thighs are crying.
these thighs have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another one like I had with you. Bam, 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 bam. And then right there, you slap your thigh.
the fleshy mess that is your thigh.
These thighs.
These thighs are crying.
I'm trying.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Weird Al, there you go. You
Absolutely
can snag that shit. I'm sure the Guess Who is totally down for
These
for you
thighs
guys.
are crying. It's leg day.
Yes. How about going to the gym on leg day?
Oh my god.
Oh, dude. Is everything good on your end? You doing okay?
I'm all right. It's been a rough couple years. No, I'm joking.
No, I get.
No,
I get
you
you.
just, you just have those days where it's like the wind kind of gets taken out of you, and then like everything is huge, but then if you look at it, then on paper, and also with cars revving their fucking engines down a narrow street down in front of your house, but when everything can just feel really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And in many ways it is, but in other ways it can just be really just kind of like, hey man, you look at it, like, sometimes you just need a good sleep to get past it, because almost always unless it is really bad, it's like it wasn't as bad as it felt like it was at the time.
Well,
Depending on what it is.
And it's hard to tell yourself like when you're in that moment too. Like,
Yeah.
The worst advice is like it's gonna be better. It just feels like it's so horrible right now. And then like if anybody says that, you're like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like
Fuck up, yeah. No,
like,
that's for sure. Yeah, like, and that's the worst part. No, that's okay. One of the worst parts is like when you are surrounded by people that do love and support you, and they want you to be well, and they want you to do better sometimes, and then they're just like, when they say that, like, it's gonna be okay because I'm like, listen, I am not looking for solutions.
Yep.
I am looking for something that is easy to get me out of this right now, and it's going to be okay is not one of the solutions. So, but I appreciate you being there for me. So, and even then, like, I'm not even the type where, like, if I am feeling like really kind of overwhelmed, like, unless the person or thing that is the direct catalyst is directly in front of me, I don't take my shit out on other people. I usually just, shut down and bottle it up for about 6 or 7 years until it ferments into something awful,
Well, yeah, you are like the rock. Like you definitely are the one that is going to be there for other people to lend like the ear. And I've just learned, like, I think I've learned that from you is like sometimes, like we were saying, sometimes you don't need advice. You don't need to fix something right this second. Sometimes it's just like hearing you out about, even if it has nothing to do with, whatever's bugging you or whatever, just having someone sit down and hear you. Sometimes it's a better medicine than, someone trying to problem solve.
you.
I've learned that the hard way, because sometimes the problem solving, it just creates more fucking anxiety, because then you have
especially like why would that idea work? Like, well,
right.
No, seriously, like on paper, like lay it out for me, please, because that doesn't work. Oh my god. Yeah, I
Or
feel
you've
that.
or you've thought of those, like, 3 ideas that the person that's giving you advice
You
or
said,
something, like,
yeah,
and you're just like, "Yeah, I thought of that one, it's not gonna fucking work out, okay?"
work.
Like,
Yeah, like listen. I've been aware of this for about 45 minutes. You've been aware of it for 30 seconds. Do you not think, motherfucker, that I have already, that maybe I've already come through that? But with that being said, again, like I'm not for jumping down people's throats that are genuinely trying to help.
no,
But
we're
hey,
joking about that,
hey,
they're
helpful
genuinely trying to
people.
be there
Hey,
for you.
helpful people. Hey, read the room sometimes. Sometimes
Yep.
you just shut the fuck up. Just be like, hey. Sometimes for me, it's like, hey, do you need anything? What do you need right now? Nothing. Cool. I'm over here. Let me know if you need anything. And I take a step over to the right, and I was like, what? I'm just on my phone, like, what? You need me? Tight. What's up? Lift
And
this thing.
I've had to learn that
Great.
as I've gotten older, because when it comes to my stuff, I have anxiety and I have to try to like figure it out in the moment. And if somebody is there, trying to be there for me or something, I'm like bouncing ideas off of them or whatever. And
Hmm.
I've just learned different people deal with stress and anxiety and things
Yeah.
of that nature in a different way. And I just need to like sit in the moment with them as opposed to trying to change the moment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, so
Yeah.
that it doesn't affect my anxiety because we can't figure it out this second.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna figure it out
No,
eventually.
yeah, yeah, eventually.
That's what they need to say on like most on like most like self-help things, or like or those fucking memes on Instagram that are just kind of like, yeah, this thing that seems really deep when you say it in your head, but when you say it out loud, it it resonates. But when you say that, when the words are used together, it doesn't really work well. But the sentiment is that's what's important. But
Yep.
also, yeah,
But
go.
I mean, that's kind of like the fine line of like toxic positivity or like
Mm.
just being like overly maybe putting like, yeah, everything's gonna be fine. Okay, is it? like do you know that, like, is that a realistic thing to say? Have you actually thought of that, or are you just saying that because you think it's gonna make me feel better? And I'm not
I
saying
think
that I don't
I
appreciate people
think
when
I
they are reaching out to say that,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
sometimes, like you're saying, like, yeah, it'll be fine eventually.
eventually. Yeah, I think
Just
everything sucks, and I think everything can suck, and it will continue to suck until it doesn't, or it will suck less, which is just like the base way of saying that's like healing is not uh it's not like it's not a straight path, you know. So it's like
right.
it's gonna suck, and it's gonna suck a little less, and maybe it might not suck at all at some point. So then you have to go out and do some living, and then you'll be all right. Anyway, we started out this really fucking somber episode of Food for Worms. Hi, my name is Darian.
And my name is Sam. We're
Yeah.
stoked to be here this Tuesday. We're not recording this on Tuesday, but hey folks, you're listening to it
What?
on Tuesday. What?
Okay. Okay. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm greeting them on their Tuesday morning,
On their
afternoon,
Tuesday,
evening,
happy
whatever
Tuesday
whatever it
morning.
is, or whenever you're listening
Hey,
to this.
hey, bud. Good morning. Yeah. Hey, if you start out your day with Food for Worms, just want to say this right now. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. If you get back to
Oh
us at one eight
fuck!
five,
Click.
it's like, yep, that's it. That's the
I've
only
tried to
person
mess
anybody
with those
calls like
people,
that
but I
anymore.
can't I can't stay on the phone anymore to try and even like humor myself with those phone calls.
But yeah, no, if you are starting your morning with us, thank you. We hope that the coffee grinder wasn't too hard, wasn't too loud, and if it was, that you're not waking up 14 other people. If you live with 14 other people, um,
Damn, that
uh,
would suck.
yeah,
I mean, some people do.
yeah, yeah, some people do. Yeah, man. The dumb shit happened recently.
Well, on speaking of Tuesdays,
Yeah.
we're on the topic of Tuesday, but this past
Yeah.
Tuesday, I was delivering my route, and something goofy as hell just happened. I
Hmm.
went and I delivered. I'm a mail carrier, folks. If you haven't listened before, I am a mail carrier. But I was listening to some music, and then I like looked up after I put mail in the slot, and then I like opened the door because I like tossing a package in the door to like leave it so it's not just sitting out on someone's stoop, because most people,
Hmm.
that's how I would prefer it to be in my door, so that's how I do it for people.
For sure.
But I look up from putting the mail in the mailbox, and a girl has like a little girl has just answered the door and she's
Hmm.
sucking on the doorknob on the inside. And
No,
I was like,
no,
I like I was just
no,
like
thank
fumbling
you,
and
please.
yeah, I did not know what to do, and I think she had been waiting or like was like waiting as I was doing all this, and I hadn't noticed her
Hmm.
yet, and she like startled me, and she was just sucking on the doorknob, and I just left the package and walked away like Garth in Wayne's World.
That's bad. I'm so sorry that happened. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, definitely in the top 10 weirdest things that I've come across at work, and it wasn't like a terrifying thing. It was more just
Hmm.
like startling and
Yeah, no,
startling
listen,
for the
that
reason of like
yeah,
I
of
never thought
course
I'd
it's
ever see that in my
startling.
life.
Of course it's startling. Like you think, because you're gonna see many things when you're out and about in the world. You're gonna see many things, really specific things that involve people being at home when you are um delivering mail, being a fucking G about it. And out of all the random things that can happen in the world, a little kid sucking on a doorknob
Well, and it was like
suddenly
the
out of
storm door
nowhere.
on the outside, like
is
like she had opened the inside door to then suck on the
Yeah.
storm door doorknob, and I was just like, Is this how you wait for everybody?"
I don't know what to do with that, man. That's so weird.
Yeah,
I
and
guess can I
what? Oh, sorry, go.
no. Oh, I was gonna say I had a weird thing happen just last night. So we I'm out with my partner and we are getting dinner
Uh huh.
and we found a spot. It's like a vegan grill, pretty good. It's a few blocks away from my house. Cool, cool, cool. I'm eating and the food is good and there's conversation and we're drinking and he's kicking it. And you know when you're just sitting out, if you ever sit out on the fucking street, patio seating or whatever,
Hmm.
sometimes you're just on the sidewalk and
Oh
people
yeah.
are walking by you.
Even more so
You don't
now with COVID, they've made
even more so
patios
now
like
because
on the
everybody's
sidewalk.
outside and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're sitting outside. It's pretty sparse tonight, and I'm seeing people like walk past me over my shoulder the whole fucking time, and then eventually I see one movement, and it got suddenly really close to me,
Hmm.
and I turn around, and me like you get that close to me, you get that close to me that quickly. I go right for fucking just I just like on my arm. I just put my arm back, and then I like did a fucking full turn, and I looked, and I was about to like knock punch this person in the fucking chest because they were just too close. So I was just kind of was like,
Yep.
what?
They've
And
already
I turn out, and
they've already startled you, and you don't even know what is going on behind you.
I don't know what's going on behind me. So this happens, and I'm just like, okay. And I fucking go over there, and for me, I don't swing right away. I turn, I assess, and then I make a decision.
Very
I did
important.
not make that decision, right? Thank you. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, this woman is not wearing a shirt, just full on, just topless nude, wearing underwear and
Are
boobs
we
just out.
talking old? Are we talking old
Older woman,
lady
older woman,
or older? Okay,
older
okay,
houseless
okay.
individual. And she's and I once I realized what the situation was, I softened my tone. I was like, sorry, I'm sorry. You really startled me. I apologize for raising my fist to you. Are you okay? And then it was like, so that interaction ended. Uh, lady moved on. And then I'm sitting there, and then it goes from that to then looking at my partner, looking at her, I'm like, where were you? I was just
Because
like, where? Like,
if your back was facing like the
something
sidewalk,
else.
your
Yeah.
partner was able to see what was going on
See
behind you.
exactly who the fuck walked up to me.
I
So,
mean, they were.
so look at
She was probably like, "I don't want you to end up punching this lady." So,
no. I know, motherfucker. I wish that was the case. No, there was like a whole moment. I just looked at some lady. I was like, "Have a good night. Sorry, no, no, no." And I looked at her. I was like, "You gonna let her get that close to me? You're gonna say a fucking word?" I
and
was so-
did the lady just then walk off and just like walk into the
Yeah, she
distance or
eventually she walked off, and she was like,
uh,
yeah. I was like, sorry.
dang. Like
Yeah,
I mean I hope she is all right, and I hope that that
you too.
wasn't like a normal situation. I'm happy you didn't deck her.
Yeah, of course not. No, listen, I want you to know there was no point where this lady's life was in danger, and once I realized that this was like a houseless and vulnerable individual, I was like, now I softened my tone. I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. Because I startled her too. Like she wasn't expecting me to rebound like that. So I was like,
Right.
hey, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. And we chatted for a moment, and then she continued on with her way. But like I guess the overall story was like when you're thinking you're out and you got your back to the door, or you got your back to a whole street of people that are or a sidewalk people that are walking by you. You think the person that's sitting in front of you will give you like a heads up
Like,
and
yo,
I'll say this
like,
shit right
or
now.
just like a
Like
nudge
they
to like
or no,
just
no, there was no nudge. Like no, she was sitting right across from me, so she saw everything that was happening behind me. So I was just like, what? And she said there was one. I guess the lady kind of got really close really quickly, so she was no time for her to say anything. But I was just like, that is not important right now. So,
I mean, I mean, I, I borderline like think like maybe if I was in your partner's situation in that scenario, or in her shoes, like I would be like, let me see what happens here with D and this human
no,
being, like
see,
whether it's that
Sam,
or
no,
a
because
different.
Sam, right now I'm telling you this shit right now. No, don't do that, and don't even put that out there. Because listen, if it was me, you out there eating fucking lunch, you know what I'm not gonna do? Let any motherfucker get that close to you without you knowing about it. Especially if I'm looking your ass right in the face.
And now we are now we're like putting it out into the world. Next time D and I are going to be out on a patio, and then some
Okay.
dude, like not a houseless person, just a guy walks up naked, and then I'm like ready, and I'm like, D, what the fuck? You didn't help me out with this naked dude that's just creeping on my
No,
shoulder
no,
here
no.
like a
Okay, so
parrot.
you know, you're skipping a bunch of different scenarios right now. You're thinking that I would have let you be surprised by that. I would have said something. Second, the motherfucker got within an inch of you.
What
I'd
do
have
you
been like,
what do you say? Do you say something to me or him first?
I would be like, hey, heads up. I'll do like a little nod, like a little like a centimeter this way, and like a head nod, like, and you turn
I,
on and you look. It wouldn't be in your peripheral within a foot
What
of
if,
you.
what, but what if I head nod and his package like caresses my forehead because I turned too
Why would it
quickly?
be that close? No, see again, you're skipping a whole step. You're thinking that I will allow this person to get that close to you. By this time, if that person is that close to you, the failure's already been done. I've already failed you. so, so there's a huge difference.
So it's like a
Anyway,
zombie coming up in the distance, and you're like, Sam, you got to check this guy walking here. You're gonna have to take care of him here. He's coming into your
no, I'm
area
not.
there.
No, no,
Now
that
I'm just
probably
thinking
wouldn't
of
happen.
naked zombies.
Sorry. You gonna be okay?
I I
Amazing.
it's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
That's what she said. You want to take a quick break real quick so we can go check out our friends over at what's it
The
called?
spot, yeah.
Yeah, the spot. Tight. Yeah, everybody, we'll be right back. I need to go drink some water.
Food Performance Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sam, you've been to therapy, right?
Yeah, it always helps my brain and my heart to get the weird, sad, scary stuff off my chest.
Yeah, man, the case of the sads comes at you fast, but yeah, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace in this day and age is just hard. It truly is.
Well, and I mean, who wants to go to an office where you have to be
No.
by like a real life human?
Absolutely not. No, not in this neat body, sir. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, and then like the recycled air, just that you both have to breathe in each other's faces.
To validate your parking and talk to Janice outside. No, thank you. To avoid that nightmare fuel, BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, or live chat sessions with a licensed therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy and can start communicating with a therapist in under 48 hours. That's nice, right?
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
rad.
This
Super rad.
podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Food for Worms listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Goddamn right.
That's betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
No one tells you that as soon as you get to Brooklyn, there's someone standing at your door. They give you a new vaporizer. They give you what are they called? Like a fucking vaporizer. No, is it vapor? What is the thing?
There's
E-cigarette.
a
There's
e-cigarette
a
that's
couple of them.
like
I'm saying like
like a vape pen,
a
or like
vape
a
pen, but they're like it's really
but with
big
like
and it's also
hash oil.
yeah, and it's shaped like a like like a
Like
super rich Downton Abbey esque fucking pipe. It's really big. It fucking flows out the mouth the whole time.
Yep.
Basically, when
Yep.
I'm talking about it, when I'm talking, I talk with it and it just moves with my lips. Always have it in my mouth. It's terrible.
So
Anyway,
am I
welcome
still.
back, everybody. Huh? Welcome back, everybody. Sorry you had to hear some of that. Hopefully, we're coming in at a point where you have no context of what we possibly were talking about before that happened.
Yeah, it was
Um,
nothing.
yeah, it was nothing weird at all. Uh, yeah, man. Have you watched the show called Squid Game? Have you been
I have
seeing stuff
not,
about
and
that?
I've been wanting to, and I've been trying to get Brooke to hop on that bandwagon with me. And I've
Mm-hmm.
heard many like things about it, reviews on podcasts. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm extremely intrigued, and I plan to watch it. But have you
Mm-hmm.
been getting down?
I was also intrigued. I sometimes avoid the fucking Netflix. Just the everybody watch this fucking shit. Like when Tiger King, and I know this isn't the same as Tiger King in any fucking regards, but like when Tiger King
Definitely
was really making his rounds, I was like, ugh, I'm good. But everybody's freaking out about it.
not. Hmm.
And I'll say right now, everybody freaking out about Squid Game. It's absolutely founded. Very intriguing. That is a good word. Great fucking story. Fucking let's see more movies
Hmm.
and shows and more stuff out of Korea. They're doing amazing artistic work over there. So yeah, fucking good shit, man.
But you have been watching it, like
I did.
you've.
I finished it recently. It
Oh,
was
okay,
fucking great.
okay, yeah, because I
Yeah,
I definitely plan to check it out, and I watched the trailer and everything, and I kind of got a. Have you ever seen the movie Battle Royale?
I haven't, but I've heard stuff about it. No, I'm
But
aware of
like,
it.
that's like a large kind of parallel that I like made just from the
Mhm.
trailer or whatever. I was like, this is kind of
Mhm.
obviously it's not kids on an island, but it's like scenario wise, it's pretty damn similar.
Yeah.
And then with a little bit of like comedy, so I was like, that's a good mix because fucking Battle Royale is
he
dark
says he
as
says a little
fuck.
bit of comedy.
Yeah, like I laughed at that
Yeah.
shit. Like in the
Yeah.
thing, I forget the joke that they were making when all the guys were like lining up in the beginning of the trailer or
Mhm.
whatever. And I'm gonna butcher this because I haven't watched it yet.
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to because I am intrigued. But I'm kind of the same as you are when it comes to that, like, the top 10 on Netflix type of thing. Like, yes,
Mhm.
I watched Tiger King, but it was like 2-3 weeks after everybody else started it. I got
Yeah.
on the what the fuck is the now I'm blanking. What's the
Yeah.
meth show?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I got on the Breaking Bad bandwagon like 4 or 5 years after everybody else had already been done like watching it. So like
Yeah.
I
Well,
just don't
I'll
like
I'll
the
say
I
like
don't
like
like the
like
hype, you know?
well, I guess it depends. For me, it depends on the hype. Like I guess like I get like I guess I have to find it myself interesting as well
Mm-hmm.
as be excited by it because of the hype. Just because something there's a lot of hype around something, I don't get excited about it. Like I
Yep.
watched the trailer for fucking Tiger King and I was like, this seems between the trailer and the commentary that's coming out of the show as the show is being what's the word I can use, like I was gonna say emaciated, but like being fucking digested through
Yeah,
the
there you go.
consumers during
Better
the pandemic
better
and shit.
word.
But as it was doing its thing, I was kind of like, I was like, hey, this show does not seem like something I really care about. But with that same breath, I wasn't like spending time being like, look at all you fucking chodes watching Tiger King. I wasn't being like that.
Right.
But I was like, I have a genuine disinterest in watching Tiger King, and and yeah. So like the hype, yes, the hype can be annoying, but sometimes the hype is fucking real. Like sometimes the hype is so real that it's like once you get done watching, you're like, I'm glad I fucking watched that. That was fucking dope
Oh yeah.
for
Well,
around
and
some
that's
shit
how it was.
worth
That's
being
how it
hyped
was
about.
with man, I'm just unable to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like I waited like 4 or 5 seasons after
Dude,
everybody had
good for
already
you.
started.
Hey,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm saying right now, good for you, man, because that's a good place to fucking start. You just fucking just shotgun
well,
it.
because yeah, I mean, Brooke and I we just binge watched like the first, like, I think it was 4 or 5 seasons or whatever, and then we came
Hmm.
in and just started watching, episode for episode as everybody that was already way into the show, and I
Hmm.
like doing it that way because I don't know what the fuck has happened. It's not a I haven't, or I've missed all the spoilers that could have been out there. If I did hear one, I've forgot it because I don't even
Hmm.
know the context of where the spoiler is in the fucking TV show. Like I
Hmm.
give it such a gap of when everybody else is into it. then I think my interest is sparked because I'm like, I don't want to hear everybody else talk about it. I want to experience it for myself. So that's kind of why I went about that and Breaking Bad in that way. Because everyone's like, this is the greatest fucking show ever. You got to watch this. And I'm like, I believe you, but I don't want to take your word for it.
Yeah, and again, it depends on whose word it is. You're
Right,
I've seen
right.
the shit that you watch. I'm good. If you want to be an asshole about it,
Well, so you did not watch Tiger King when all that hype
I
was going on?
yeah, just again, it just seemed I understand the hype. I was
Hmm.
genuinely disinterested regardless of the
Hmm.
hype.
Right.
But I was interested in Squid Game, and I, I've been making sure that I've been more open. Not that I need to be like more open minded for movies and TV show and bullshit to watch Squid Game, but it was just like sometimes you just get stuck in a rut on things that you watch,
Right.
and I just didn't want to, and I wanted to find something that was different. Squid Game, great show. I would also encourage. I just started rewatching The Venture Brothers. Hey everybody, if you've seen The
Nice.
Venture Brothers, it's a fucking great show. Being able to watch that show now as an adult and not being like a fucking eighth grader
Hmm.
is there are so many things from the first season that are way funnier now as an adult, and then also having watched the show, so like if
Yep.
something gets referenced, you're like, holy shit, they actually bring that back up 6 seasons later, which has taken like almost 18. I know maybe not, but like 18 years for the fucking show to just be done recently over the
Right.
last couple
Right.
years. So yeah,
Well, I
so
mean, maybe they will bring it back too. Maybe it's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like just whenever they feel like it, they'll come out and make something. You know, because
they've been on Adult Swim for a long time. I think once they canceled it, it was canceled. Like,
that makes
very
sense.
there are many reasons to be bummed about the years between 2020 and now. I
Yep.
will say that show being canceled was up there, but that's again perspective. A lot of people
Right.
died. I'm
De-
okay.
uh,
So
de- Definitely all about
yeah.
perspective. Speaking of like finding new things to watch, specifically Netflix. Super surprised and excited the other night. Have you watched the series, The Movies That Made Us?
Um, I'm aware of it. I have not watched it. I, for some reason, as open-minded as I'm trying to be, I have a hard time with biographies or things. Really, remember this? I'm like, yeah, I do. Leave me alone. but
Oh,
but I
oh,
but I but I know the show looks cool.
okay. Because
Yeah.
I both Brooke and I we love like movie commentary and
Yeah.
behind the scenes and like the making
Yeah.
of like I am obsessed with all that shit. So like
Mhm.
any DVD or Blu-ray we had came with usually it we bought the version that had the
Mhm.
most. Like I have Back to the Future that has like 40 hours of behind the scenes fucking shit that came with it. That was like the 30th
Nice.
anniversary or some shit.
Hell yeah.
But that show, like that's my big recommend because I'm a big movie guy and like there's movies I've seen 50 times. Like they do Ghostbusters, they do fucking Home Alone, they do Elf, which is such a good episode. But doing
Mhm.
these, like just figuring out how you got different shots, like the perspective shots on in Elf specifically,
Mhm.
they like when he's in the classroom, for example, like the way that they filmed that was he's
Mhm.
10 he's sitting in a desk 10 feet in front of everybody else that's in the
Yep.
classroom, and then they're sitting in their desks 10 feet
Yep.
behind him, obviously. And
Mhm.
like I mean, I after you see that shot, it you're like, oh yeah, that's common sense. But you are so in the magic of the movie that
Yeah,
you're
you
not
don't even
thinking about
realize it.
how they figured out these shots. So
Mhm.
like, but recently they came out with this whole explanation is me getting to the point of why I'm so stoked now because they are doing like all of the great horror films. So like they did fucking Halloween and Friday the
Mhm.
13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And I forget what the other two are. I binged those three in one night. And it's just cool to get those behind the scenes because, like, over every genre, like horror, especially in the late 70s, early 80s to mid 80s, no fucking budget, and they were all making millions.
Mhm. Mhm.
like Halloween was a $300,000 budget for the film, and it made $60 million in the box
Yeah.
office in like 1978. So it's just like,
Shit.
damn. So it's like crazy. I was even more intrigued because I love the movies, but then you're seeing these like hippies in 1978
Yeah,
basically.
with their fucking mustaches and their
Right,
big ass
right.
sideburns
E
and shit.
exactly. John Carpenter is just, like, running the show, making Halloween specifically just because that's my favorite of those 3 that I watched, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy to see, like, such a low budget, and these people are just like, "We have to figure this out, and we don't have any more money, so let's
Mm,
figure this out without any money," and, like, you just
mhm,
figure out how they problem solve while they're putting this big thing together, and I
mhm,
guess that's so intriguing to me because we love
mhm.
going and seeing movies, but you forget sometimes how much fucking work goes into it. Like,
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things I've always appreciated about like when you're able to look at something
mhm,
and then like you if okay if you're not thinking about how they do that shot means that they did their fucking job because they're fucking like we
right.
fucking did that shit, look, which is great. But then you're also like, hey, but I like scenes like that and them saying that to people because like there are people that are watching this shit that are thinking about how do they get that shot even as a kid, and then that scene, maybe it
Yep.
was the scene in Halloween that was like he went back and like they went back and found out like, oh, they did it that way, and that fucking fed their little heart, and they're like, I want to fucking shoot movies now, be a videographer. I'm like, fuck yeah, director of photography, look at you.
Yep. Yep.
You look great.
Well,
So,
and I think I go into like each movie experience seeing something for the first time. I'm like, okay,
mhm,
I want to get fully engulfed in the reality of this world, of this film, and not think
mhm,
of like, how did they make it be in this world? Like, first time I see it, I want to get into the story, the characters, and not worry about whether it's like real or how it happened, how they made it real, and all these things.
mhm,
That just makes it so like it distracts me, I think, from the art. And then later on,
mhm,
like if I like the fucking film, I'm going to watch it again and try and figure out how they did, like if this scene specifically made me, gave me chills or something. I want to know how they did that,
mhm.
like
Yeah.
with these horror films, like fucking you could make a horror movie and it's not scary whatsoever, and then John Carpenter just creates a 5-minute piano fucking riff on the fucking piano, and that's what completes the
Sam,
fucking movie is when he
Sam,
does the
Sam, are you
score, it's just
implying
done.
Sam, are you implying that if you play Halloween without any John Carpenter's music, that it's not scary? Or
Probably. i'd,
huh?
I'd say I would say that is the case. I know you're not a big horror movie buff, but
No, like no,
I
I've
grew
seen
up on them.
Halloween and
But I think that is a large factor of it, is
yeah,
the sound and lack of sight. Like
yeah,
in Halloween, they use dark spaces to
hmm,
create mystery. Like you don't
yeah,
know if Michael is in this
kicking over,
hallway,
yeah, because he's
and
shown
then
he's
his
been able to
face.
manipulate shadows and
Right,
come creeping out
exactly.
of it
So
like
lack of
I have a
light,
knife.
and then yeah, yeah. So like those types of things, just seeing how they put that together, especially like they say that the formula for making horror movies is so simple or whatever, but like they were
Hmm.
fucking winging it at that time. Cause like the
Oh yeah,
scariest movie at that time, biggest box office was Jaws. And,
yeah.
before that was Exorcist. So it's like those are way different than doing like Halloween, where all you need to do is, oh, we rented a house, renovated it, and we
Hmm.
bought this guy a mask and hired like
So
7 other actors.
yeah, what wasn't the mask a painted over version of the Captain Kirk Star Trek mask?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Hell
is.
yeah, that's a fun bit of that's a fun tidbit that I held on to. What I was gonna say was if and this is still in the same lane of Halloween and John Carpenter. I'm just taking
Yeah,
it to a far off place. Wouldn't
right.
it be rad to just be like a production assistant for that movie back in this back when they were first making it? Just be like if you just go back in time, just be like you're just watching it happy, like yeah, making this piece of shit movie with, with these guys.
Well, and like like the prop. No spoiler alerts or whatever, but
Yeah,
the
listen, if
but
you if it, no, fuck
the
that. If
prop
you spoil
the prop
the movie's been out for a long time.
yeah, it has. But in the movie, like it's obviously Halloween, but the prop guy is bitching about it. He's like, it's fucking September in California. You're not gonna find, or no, not September. He's like, it's like June or something. So it's
Hmm.
early summer in
Yeah, hot as
California. You're
shit.
not gonna find
Yeah.
a pumpkin anywhere. So they
Yep.
had 3 pumpkins that they could use for that whole entire shooting of the movie. One of them was smashed in one shot when the kid falls
Oh.
over on it because he's like running and falls
Oh
on the pumpkin.
no. no.
So like John Carpenter had to get that in one shot because the prop person only could find fucking 3 pumpkins in California, in
God
where they were
damn it.
filming at or whatever. So
Yeah,
he's
that'd
like,
be
"This
so.
is all we got, guys." I looked
Dude,
everywhere.
that would be make me absolutely fucking insane. I would just be like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like out of all the things.
They
All right,
painted a
everybody.
gourd. They painted a gourd orange and then carved it like a jack-o'-lantern. So
All right.
it's just like shit like that they put together. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
no one's gonna see if this is like a small ass pumpkin or a fucking gourd. So let's carve this thing.
Big
Same
old
fucking
gourd.
difference, you know.
That's a hey Sam. That's a big old gourd.
It's a big old gourd, but
That's a big
I
old
don't know.
gourd.
I've big recommend for that. If you like, especially specifically if you like behind the scenes stuff, the movies that made us, they did a whole Christmas season. They did a whole, they did Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, all
All
your
right.
classics, and then
See
the
all of
horror
our
film.
favorite movies.
Yeah. So
All right.
go fucking watch it, dude. Check it out.
Okay, I will. All right, everybody. Since Sam was over here just putting his big man pants on, telling me what to do, we're gonna take one more break, and we'll be right back.
I've been
Oh,
stressed about money because money
yeah.
is the fucking
That was
devil,
quite the
and
transition. Yeah.
it puts food on my table. So it's been like the main stress that has been going on in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's only like I'm fine money wise, but it just eats away at me because I have a second kiddo on the way. So then I'm doubting myself, thinking like, oh, am I going to be able to make enough money to feed this second human? And I know I am, but I've just
Mm-hmm.
been like stressing, thinking um maybe I won't. You know what I mean? Like you just always have doubt, especially with big things like that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just been like, I need to find a second job working at a hardware store. When the fuck would I do that? Like
Yeah.
or or working at a library or working but I have all these jobs or these not these jobs, all of these ideas, and it's like I already have a day job. I already have a gig. So I'm trying to find kind of a side hustle, but I don't know how to go about doing that cuz it just stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah. It can. When you're strapped, everything else after that seems fucking daunting. So I understand that
Mhm.
feeling all too well. As long with the exception of right now, I've always had more than one job, and I
Mhm.
guess before the whole gig economy thing popped up and people are driving Uber and Lyfts and delivering the Grub Hubs and the fucking what's it's called
Right.
DoorDash, not a sponsor. Before they did all that, I was just like, no, I'm gonna work over here and I'm also gonna work over here, and one job is always more of a priority than the other, at least with
Mhm.
my experience. But it's like, but that's just all. That's just how I've always needed to be, and I'm honestly trying to get out of that. And yeah, trying to make decisions and trying to think of ways to make more money when you're already strapped for money. It's fucking daunting. I understand that all too well. I guess at this point, it's just kind of like when you have to find for me when I have to find that second hustle, I always try to be like this second hustle is something I can do with the time that I have, but it's
Yep.
not but it should rarely or never actually interfere with my main thing that much. And if it does, I know which one I'm fucking leaning on first. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. This is priority of that, and if it
yeah.
and then like what are the positives coming in line here if I'm going
Very
to
little
add this
positives
other
coming from
thing?
having to have a side gig. I'm gonna say I
Right.
don't
Right.
care what anybody says. It's more
Well,
money,
but
yes, but it's
that's the like the only positive,
yeah,
is that extra income. That's why you got the side
yeah.
gig. Maybe this is a weird question, but like, what is your relationship with money? Like, has it changed from when you were a kid to like now when you're like a working stiff? You know what I mean?
I'm a working stiff.
We're all
Clarify
working
what you mean by
stiffs.
that, sir.
A human being
That works
making
and I'm
money
stiff.
As a job has a
Okay.
career making
So
money.
so you're by by that definition, everyone's stiff.
Yeah, is
And I'm not
are
coming at
you
you. I'm just want
are
to.
you no, are you insinuating that working stiff is a
I'm not
like
insinuating anything. I was just being a dick. Anyway,
yeah, I did not mean it as like a derogatory like
I know, I know, I
you
know, I know, I know.
stiff D.
You stiff. No, I've just never honestly I've never heard anybody call someone else that works as stiff. I'm almost like, what? I'm like, anyway,
Oh, you haven't heard of
um,
a working stiff?
I've heard people getting called a stiff. I've never heard of working stiff. So I was like, excuse me. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand what you mean.
Okay.
I guess my relationship with money has shifted a lot since I was a kid. I had a hard time with numbers really early on, and once I
Hmm.
actually finally got it, I was like, oh, okay, great, this is cool. I understand it. So even when I had money, a little bit as a kid, like just didn't understand the coins and the fucking dollars right away. Like I knew what
Yeah.
ones and fives were, but you gave me a fucking quarter. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, do I have enough or not? Type shit like that. I was like,
So
I want to have
so
this
math
candy
wasn't
bar.
math wasn't your thing.
It wasn't, but it was like it eventually was. But even then, like I could do basic math, but like as for like naming what the fucking the coins were, I had a hard time with that for a little bit as a kid. Once I got a bit
Right.
older, like when I was like
Right.
in my second and third grade, that's when I got it more. Not that I should know that. I was just
'Cause-
whatever.
But
All
that's when you're like going to the store regularly to go grab a snack or getting your mom like a jug of milk or like you're running to the store like biking
Yeah,
down the
for sure
street.
like
Like that's
that.
what I was doing as a kid.
But sometimes I just wanted a fucking Milky Way, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Like, um, but once I got past all that, and I had my own money. Hmm. Like I didn't hoard it. Like I definitely spent it, but I definitely was like it was rare that I had my own money like that. So when I was actually old enough to get like a job, or for a little bit I was working as a I did a little side community music gig for a little
Hmm.
bit throughout high school, and that was a little bit of money, and it was my money, and it was fucking dope. But I still relied on my mom heavily for feeding and and doing all the stuff moms do. Thank you, mom.
Right. As
And
you were like a juvenile, so like it's like a given that that's
I
kind
was
of
a
gonna.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I got through all that, and I started having my own money. My relationship with money is I've almost never had enough of it to just be comfortable on my own.
Hmm.
And that's something I've been working towards. And with that all being said, I've been fortunate enough to be able to have jobs and be in spaces where I actually am able to make money. And I've been very fortunate to be able to have different main gigs and then side gigs to help me grind my way into where I want it to be now.
Well,
And and
oh, sorry,
and
sorry. No,
but then
continue.
once I got past that, then I was still needed more money and everything, just more so I can use because I was paying back tuition and all this other shit. So my to say yes, my relationship with money has changed a lot since as a kid. There wasn't enough as a kid. There was almost always never enough as an adult. But I have my own money now, and then for that I've
Right.
needed to fend for myself for a long time. So like now it's been like what 10 years, 10, 11, 12 years since I moved out of my mom's house. I was when I
Right.
was like late teens and shit. I was like I got out and I was like, oh no, I'm on my own. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And fortunately, I have a community and a family that has been very that like if I needed something, I can they were there. If you need anything, let me know. And I have a support system that has allowed me um to be independent but also have like some kind of community safety net,
Yep.
but fortunately enough for my circumstances throughout my adult life, I've never needed to really lean on anybody like that before. And that's just because
Right.
I've been like on my own, just being like, yeah, no, I'm paying my own bills. I have roommates, and that's the thing I'm compromising with, but pay my own bills. So
Well,
sorry about that.
family. Like I'm assuming your support system is like your family, your mom, the main pod you
Cousins,
had
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yep,
a young human working. Like they see you working your ass off, so they're like, yeah, if D needs help,
yeah.
I
But
want to
I'm
be
very
there for
fortunate for
you
that.
if right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And I'm not saying
but
everybody needs
yeah,
or not everybody has that,
yeah,
but like if like what I'm saying is as a young adult they saw you working. So like
yeah.
I'm not
But I
saying
would
they
say
did
it
help
still
you,
didn't stop
but
me.
that
Yeah,
oh,
me
sorry.
working still didn't stop me from being like wildly irresponsible a few times with money. So
Oh, but
so
that's all like you were saying that's like 11, 12, 13 years ago. Like
yeah,
we learn how to have a better relationship because with money because at first you're like you've never had it before. So you're like, "Ooh, I get to go buy this random shit I
yeah,
don't need."
yeah,
And I still do that shit, but it's
yeah.
definitely a lot tougher and it hurts you a lot more
Well, yeah,
when it was
I
money
guess I,
you spent you didn't have, you know?
yeah, I guess with that, it's like I've never been like wildly super irresponsible like as an adult, but a lot of the same. I guess I feel like I'm having been like fully honest on what my relationship was with money. Like I guess the bad parts of it is like I like might not always have enough, but I also sometimes don't. My relationship with money doesn't always have me like saving as much as I should. Like I don't spend the zero, but I'm also like if I really fucking want to, I could probably do some shit. But like sometimes my relationship with money is like I have it and I need to spend it. But it isn't like I'm just burning through my fucking bank account. But it's just kind of like
Right.
my relationship with money is like I didn't have a lot of it growing up, so it's like it's hard for me to save. Well, it's because I'm also paying bills and shit, so I don't have enough to save. Even if I had it, I don't think that I would. so, so,
Right.
so,
Right.
so, so it's just I guess it's like I just have to when I have reached milestones, it's always been a step forward, thankfully. But it's been but there's always like just as much falling out from underneath me as well. Someone's calling like, "All right, tight, smoke them if you got them, boys," and then I fucking
Well, and that's the
so.
other side of the spectrum from what we were like talking about from like being a
Hmm.
young kid and you're like, "Ooh, I have money now. I just get to spend it." It
Hmm.
it is all right to treat yourself because you do have those responsibilities of like why
Hmm.
you need to earn money. So it's like, yeah, this is my money. I worked for it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get myself something. I'm gonna treat myself because you
Yeah,
deserve
like
that if you're,
do like Sam, do I need a shirt that says get fucked?
no, Darian, you
No,
don't
but hey, I
what
bought it. So
whatsoever.
like an idiot.
Are you walking around wearing it all the time or is that like a night
No,
shirt?
here's the thing. I buy sometimes I and that was also an issue for me too. Like my early 20s. One thing about me is that I didn't bother my mom a lot for clothes, and it might bother me. Like I just didn't ask for a lot as a kid, so or
Right.
advocate for myself if we're really getting into it. But once I got old to buy my own clothes, my mom wasn't like really like. Because my mom, she didn't let me. I wanted to be goth. I've told you this. I wanted to be goth so fucking bad as a kid. But once I got older, I was like, I buy my own shit. Because she's like, I'm not buying it for you. And once I told her that, I
Well,
was
that
like,
makes sense
you're
of
not
like
gonna
why you
buy
would
it for me.
spend it. That was
Yeah.
that was your
So
that was
I
your
went and
first
I got
driving
so many
force.
shirts. Yeah. That between that and then like I got all the shirts, man. I started working at Hot Topic, which is like a big deal for me when I was 15. I was like, yo, I love this shit. Give me all the band shirts. Tool, I love Tool. I've never listened to Tool. This is great. And then I bought it. But it's but once I got through all of that, it was a lot of um coming to terms with, sometimes you don't need that shit. But the pandemic didn't fucking help. I'll tell you that, man.
No, no,
I
no. Well, and sometimes it comes to like what do you call that? Like
boredom.
retail therapy. Like sometimes you're looking at like a thing. Like
I
I bought
mean, I'll
myself
say yeah, like,
what?
I'll say yes about but like to cut you off, but the retail therapy, like yes, that. But sometimes you're just bored too. So it's
Yep,
not. It's
yep.
like yeah. So please continue.
Well, but I guess like when I was saying like retail therapy, like sometimes you just get something on your mind and then like
Mhm.
something that's like connected to that. Like I'm a big t-shirt guy as well, so I'm like, "Ooh, I like that. I should buy a
Mhm.
t-shirt with of that." But then there's 20 t-shirts that I don't wear and I end up like bringing them to a thrift store and then someone else
Mhm.
gets to have my rad t-shirt. But um I guess I don't know where I was going with that, but it's all like um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
We're
I think that or like we've said multiple times, our relationship with money, it's a spectrum. Thankfully,
yeah,
shittily, so many different at least, but different reasons why. But um, but there's relationships with money starting when we started having our own money, and then there's relationships with us now, along with all our responsibilities that are now here. And
right.
we'll see how it goes. I don't know. With the way the world's going, man, it's hard to. It's really, honestly, really hard to say how we're gonna fucking be when we get when we're older. If I'm being real honest, like,
And I'm like
but
I'm like
with
kick
that,
I'm like kicking myself sometimes because when I was in college, I was paying off my knee surgeries
hmm
because I had three knee surgeries while I was in college. So I was on crutches and paying off medical bills through college, and I was paying for that. And I was paying my rent and I was buying records. And that's literally all I spent my money on for like
hmm
5 years. And I do still buy records, but it is not like I used to when I was younger. And I kick myself now because I think of how much money I invested into my collection of vinyl. And
hmm
it's like, damn, Sam, you are fucking dumb. So
hey,
it's
we
stuff,
all
it's
spent we
it's
all
stuff
blew our
like
money on
that.
something, man. No, but
Oh
we all
yeah.
blew our money on something. I feel like there, yes. yes, you did that, but with all that being said, you have a fucking stellar fucking vinyl collection, and it's hey, you collected vinyl. You could have been doing something else with your money. You could have
That
been
is true.
done something really stupid with your like something that's like tangibly and terribly stupid. But in this case, you collected
Right.
music, which is a honestly fucking beautiful thing. So go for it, buddy.
Well,
Um,
thanks. Thanks, dude.
yeah,
You made me feel a
I
lot
collect
better.
books that I don't read. So whatever, that's my
What
thing. That's not true.
ratio of read to not read? What do you think the ratio is, or like the percentage? How many of your books have you read, percentage wise?
I think that I have read maybe 75% of the books that I own. There are some, and some of them are comic books too. Like I got them because I was like, I'm gonna read that eventually. For me, like
Right.
just reading is sometimes a it's sometimes it's difficult because like I have said this before. Like, I spend all day looking at a fucking screen. So once I get done, then it's like me looking at something else. And it doesn't necessarily suck the joy out of it, but it definitely I have to put myself in a whole zone. Like I don't want I want to start my day having not looked at my fucking computer once, and then I can read a book. But
Yep.
by the time I sit down, it's like reading. I'm kind of like, this feels like work. This feels like work, and that's why I've gotten into fucking audiobooks lately. Hey, Audible, you should fucking sponsor us. Anyway, I was gonna read a couple of our Food for Worms anonymous grab box.
We have
How do you?
some? I didn't even know
Yeah,
we had some.
we have a few. We have a few in here. Here's what some of our folks said. Thank you all so much for submitting these. If you want to submit, please go over to Food for Worms forward dash LFW grab bag and submit your weird phobias and questions. You want to talk about something. If you want to go a little bit deeper on things we talk about on the show, please go on, drop your stuff in there, or hit us up on fucking Instagram too. We're always available. But we think it's cute when you use those links to get to this. This one was when you're talking about imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome has in the past stopped me from doing a lot because I was not the best at something, especially in the music scene. I had to make a bargain with my wise brain that is impossible to be the best. That it is impossible to be the best at anything, barring the inherent privilege I have as a white person. Ultimately, a combination of getting really fucking real about what I bring to the table, to what level I bring those things, and doing those things the best I can has shown me that I belong in the arenas I'm currently playing around in. I also think it has also been very important for me to recognize when it is imperative that I just stay in my lane, stick to this area arenas I know, and approach the arenas I'm not familiar with or I'm trying to learn to um, play with my shit in with shit on humility. I know who wrote that. Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, being aware of your privileges is great, but then also like being aware of that you don't have to be the best at everything to be able um to appreciate where you are is very
And
important.
and like it's tough, but be stoked for your accomplishments. Like
Yes.
that's a hard part for me, and that's what I try to tell myself. Like, don't be like stoking your fire, but um like if you accomplished something and it was fucking tough, you did a good job, no matter
Good
what
job.
that task
Yeah.
was. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
that's what I need to remind myself. So anybody that's
Mhm.
out there feeling imposter syndrome, I think that's a large part of it is like, dude, you're doing well if you're trying. And that's
Yeah.
literally if you're trying to do your best, that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Joe Manganiello says when you're trying like how do I start something? He says like just well, go put your shoes on. And I was like, hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
It's the first
Yeah.
fucking step. It's like, and that's the first step of doing anything. And just like so many things in fucking life, it is never going to be a straight line. It will be a step forward, and then you'll fucking feel like you're going to take a step back, and then you do take a step back, and then you shuffle for a few minutes, and then you kind of will yourself forward some more. That was two steps. You did it, and
Uh-huh.
you're going to,
Yeah.
eventually those fucking steps forward, they will fucking compound, and you will get to where you're trying to go. It just takes time. Ugh.
And make fucking mistakes, because that's how we
Yeah, and
learn
be,
how
yeah,
to do a
yeah.
better that's very important as well.
hmm Yeah, man. So, a strange phobia, loud chewing, slurping, annoys the shit out of me, and not a clue why. I can give you a fucking few clues. Coworker slurps nonstop over the cubicle and I have to crank up the tunes of my headphones to drown it out. First off, that sounds fucking terrible. Okay, that sounds like a terrible, terrible thing that you have to fucking deal with. Why the fuck? Like, and also, I'm gonna say, like, why the fuck do you feel like you are somehow the asshole for being annoyed by that?
And you say they're doing this over the cubicle. Like, are they
Yeah,
leaning over talking to you, like
yeah, in your
doing this
space.
like because then you definitely, they are in your space. That is your fucking cube, ma'am, sir, they, whoever you are. Like,
You get the fuck. No, listen. If I'm not me personally. Do I like? Do I don't. Okay, I personally don't give a fuck if somebody fucking slurps a little bit. I do think it's fucking obnoxious if you do it a bunch of times. But also, being human is fucking disgusting sometimes, and sometimes you have to make a fucking slurping noise to get through your goddamn monstroli. Okay, it's delicious. All right. I'm not gonna hold anybody as long as you're not being a fucking rude prick about it. Do your fucking thing. However, if somebody's in your fucking space for no fucking reason
but
and
how do you
they are
go?
making slurping sounds with their fucking head hanging over the fucking cubicle like some kind of fucking camel, okay? You are not the
But
asshole for being annoyed by hearing those sounds. You're just not, okay?
but how do you go about addressing that situation then?
Telling them like, yo,
you
hey,
you
hey,
are
friend.
you are in your cubicle, you look up and this person's slurping, hanging over the edge of
Okay,
your
see,
cubicle
here's the thing
talking
though.
to you.
See. Here's the thing. I don't think this person is just being a fucking camel and literally hanging their head over and just being like a fucking like, haha, look at this. I think this is a
That's just
person
how I
that
picture
just
it.
Yeah, right. I I think that it's just a person that probably isn't that self-aware about this one thing, hopefully, which is almost never the case. But uh, they will. But if it is just like a thing that they do, and if you feel like you want to fucking say something and it's happened more than once or whatever, I don't care. We're not there for those situations, but this person is. And I want to say this right now, okay? You do not get to feel. You should not. Excuse me. You can do whatever you want, but you should not feel bad because someone else is being gross in your space, and you don't know the clue. I can give you like my clues are it's fucking gross, on in
Well,
mass,
it's and
small doses, whatever.
speaking about someone like doing this thing and or making this noise and possibly being like in your space and like not being aware of it. That is totally me, so I can't completely like hate on the person that is doing the slurping because I am a loud human and I don't like I don't have a bubble, so like I'll get in other people's bubbles, and I've learned the
We
hard
know.
way when people are like, hey,
Back
dude,
the fuck up. Yeah.
but I learn if somebody tells me, but I'm definitely like I get in your face like right when I meet you, so
Yeah.
I kind of get where the slurper is coming from. I'm not saying go slurp in people's cubicles, but I'm the loud dude that gets too close, so I kind
So
of have sympathy for this guy
what
as
the
weird
fuck does
as
it?
well.
Okay, but that's not
He
the
just
same.
wants a
Sam, that is
he just
okay.
wants a friend, you know.
That is okay. I get that. That is not remotely the same. I think somebody that is like, yeah,
I think I'm
maybe,
projecting now.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's some projection in there, maybe. I think either way, it is something that both of you, the slurper and you, the person that gets too too much into people's space, you are breaking some social contract thing. You get gently corrected, and then you fucking move back. You don't mean anything by it. Probably nothing with the slurper thing too. At this point, everyone needs to get their shit together. Sam, you want to read us out?
Yeah. Thanks for coming around, folks, and tuning in today. If you want to submit any questions or topics, head to bit.ly/FFW grab bag. That's for all the stuff that we just did. You know, throw us some questions, random phobias, fucking dreams you had, something you want to hit on something that we talked about in the show. Just let us know that you think D is super cute. I don't know, just hit us
Okay.
up and come at us, or contact us at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com.
All
For
right.
more existential humor, remember to rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You could be anywhere and you choose to be here, and we appreciate you for joining us. As always, check on your strong friends, tell your people you love them, and remember that you can't take any of this with you, so don't be a dick.
Don't be a fucking prick, man. Like y'all could just be cool, but sometimes y'all not cool. And it would be really cool if y'all were cool. Cool.
I'm cool. This
All
has
right.
been Food for Worms. I love you, D.
Sam, I love you too, bud. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The Food for Worms podcast is a hella rad production.
It is recorded and mixed by Samuel Sarver.
Executive producers are Darian Washington and Samuel Sarver.
Theme music is Muffins by Dresden the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Because we need those reviews.
We do, and it helps people hear our stuff.
It pushes us right to the top. But on top of that, we also get that sweet ass validation. Sam, have you felt validated lately?
Sometimes.
I recently took up this new moniker. Play with me in this space.
What's your new moniker?
Validation Highlander. I used to be chopping fucking heads off, man. So stupid.
Fuck them bullies.
Fuck them bullies. You get it validated, and you get it validated.
And you, and you, and you.
Do you feel seen?
I'll cut your head off.
Oh my God.